Maybe.
Right.
All right, you're in my ear now. We're good to go. Yes,
All
sir.
right. How you doing now? All right. Well, definitely, this is Steve Loney, and I have a special guest here today, and we're going to talk about some great things. And actually, we're just a part of our Men on the Rise. And so we're so pleased to have you here. But we're going to give you a few more moments before we really chop in, get into it. But we hope everybody had a phenomenal, phenomenal day. And we look forward to having a great conversation about some things is going to inspire, empower you to be able to be great. And so today I do have a special guest, a great friend. He's a phenomenal speaker. He's doing some great, great things. I know I use that word phenomenal quite a bit, but hey, phenomenal guy. And so we
Yes,
want to
sir.
just bring the man, and I call him the champ is here. The champ is
Yeah,
in the building.
yeah.
So,
There's the champ is here. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
man,
How's it
introduce
going, man?
yourself. Champ, man, how you do, man? I'm great myself.
Man, I'm
Yeah.
doing absolutely fantastic. I'm excited about this evening show. We're gonna talk about things. Talk about relationships in 2025. I know, with social media, online dating, and things that go on in relationships nowadays. It's just so crazy. Some of the
Yeah.
things that are trending right now. And so we're gonna talk about some of
Exactly.
those things. So yeah.
A little bit about who you are, your name, give your name and stuff like that. You gotta introduce who you are to the people,
Okay,
if you don't mind.
beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely. This is Champ Franklin. I'm with Intimate Discoveries. Actually, I'm a motivational speaker, and so I'm I'm a podcast host that we do Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. where we provide a safe space for individuals and couples to have a safe space where we can talk about vulnerability and be able to understand what the true definition of intimacy is. And in a world where we are thinking that we know what intimacy is, and then when you bring two individuals together and then they ask you what's your definition of intimacy, and then what's your definition of intimacy, chances are you're gonna get two different definitions of what it means to be intimate. And so one of the things that we try to help individuals is to have a working definition so that in your relationship you both understand what true intimacy is. And so we're here Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 p.m. I have a co-host. Her name is Golden. She's a psychologist and brings a female perspective to the conversation. And so we're looking forward to helping individuals in 2025. So thanks for having me here. I appreciate it. Absolutely.
Well, we're so pleased, man. Like I say, I know you love what you're doing. You're doing a great job at what you do, man. So we're looking forward to having a conversation this evening at what's at 8 p.m. And what platforms are you going to be on so people can connect?
So you and I, we're going to go on Instagram Live today, but you can actually access the podcast on Podbean. You can Podbean, anywhere you receive your podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google, YouTube, and Spotify, as well as iHeartRadio. You can also find us there as well. So the name of the podcast is Intimate Discoveries Heart to Heart. So you can actually find us anywhere. Just in this search Intimate Discoveries, INTIMATE Discoveries, and you'll see us. If not, see me on Instagram, send me a direct message, Intimate Discoveries, and then I'll send you a link to the podcast.
Oh, man. Looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to connecting with you on your podcast. And I love your energy, man. I love what you talk about, man, because you really talk about the mental aspect of healing. So I love even when we had our Monday call this you really talk about vulnerability and things like that. So let me ask you this though, because I want you to kind of ask me some questions as well. Let's have this a conversation during this time. What is it that drives you to why this was the anchor or the direction you wanted to go? Because I understand you speak from the place of vulnerability. So what's the driving anchor for you to really hit home for you? Why you want?
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a great question. So the what ha- so I'm retired Navy. I did 30 years in the military, and I was married 22 years. And during the course of as my career was ending, I didn't realize that my marriage was actually ending as well. And so I was in Okinawa, Japan, and I came back from Japan, and to come home and to be announced that, hey, listen, this is where we get off. This is where our relationship ends. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I'm looking back, and while I was in Japan, I was studying intimacy and relationships, because we used to do events and stuff, and we used to do events, and so as I was studying, I learned that there was a part of my relationship that was missing, and that was the vulnerability part. Whereas I couldn't be vulnerable, and of course, if I can't be vulnerable, and she can't be vulnerable, and so we didn't have that safe space in our relationship where your truth is okay and my truth is okay. And so, in doing so, as I realized that a lot of men are missing it. If you can talk to most divorced women, they'll tell you that, he was a good provider, because most men were programmed as being providers and protectors, and not realizing that there's more to us as emotional beings that we rarely ever get to experience, and therefore our relationships um, are suffer as a result of men not being able to express their feelings and emotions. And so, what I started with Intimate Discoveries is what it says, Intimate Discoveries. I want you to be able to discover that you have the capacity to be vulnerable and intimate, and at an emotional and a cognitive level, so that you can experience the fullness of your relationships. And so that's been my quest. I've been doing it. I started the podcast last year, so this is my first full year, going into year two, and I'm excited what the year is going to bring, and I'm here. Thanks for asking that question, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I want to put a little pushback on that because I feel sometimes guys don't mind being vulnerable if they're not going to be used against later with that information. And sometimes that could be, and I don't know if you do counseling aspect of it.
hmm Yeah, so I talk to men. I have clients I talk to about vulnerability, and that's a good point that you talk about. Is
Mhm.
I help women as well how to talk to men, how to be able to listen without being judgmental and
Yeah,
without throwing it back in each other's face. And again, women do the same thing. Men do the same thing, throw stuff back in your face, and so it's vice versa. And
exactly.
so we got to be able to understand that most of the stuff that we talk about in relationships is in the past. And so there's nothing you can do about what I'm just telling you, what happened in my past. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You can't go get it. You can't reproduce the situation. You can't even bring two of the variables back together, because they
Mhm.
don't even exist anymore. But we get so worked up because I told you something about my past, and so and now I help individuals to say, listen, you said that, okay, fine, then you're not getting. I'm not telling you anything else anymore. Um, you just, I know now that you're not a safe space,
Yeah,
and that's the component that really helps individuals to understand that how do you provide a safe space for your partner.
hmm
So, but yeah.
yeah, that's important, man. Like I say, because like I say, I love the fact that we and some of us like I say this taught to be hard, suck it up, men don't do that, whatever. But I think we're in a different day's time, especially when you got soft men, soft raisins, they call it stuff
hmm
got a title. But people are more in tune with their softer side and tend to have the walls you give
Well,
them.
you're right. And so the thing is that a lot of us, the newer generation, they're in tune with their softer side and their feelings and emotions. The challenge is that they don't have anyone above them, right? who has who they can talk to, who have experience with being vulnerable with individuals, right? So whereas I want to be, I want to feel, I want to be emotional. I'll give you an example. I was talking to a family member a while back, and I knew that I was talking to him about relationships and about the challenge that his son is having, because he's my cousin. He tells me some stuff, and so I was telling him, I said, hey, you can do better in this particular area. And he was like, well, I don't, nobody taught me. I'm like, listen, that ain't our problem that nobody taught you. It's if I tell you that I need you to be X, Y, and Z, I need you to be X, Y, and Z. At the same time, trying to go to him for advice or information, um, chances are they don't have it, and they're not committed to going to get it, to bring it, to have it available to you. Does that make sense?
I'm with you. Yeah.
Yes, and so that's the problem, that we have this vulnerability gap, where, oh my gosh, where I'm gonna say, it ain't even a gap, it's an abyss,
One of the
vulnerability
quick,
abyss,
yeah,
right,
one,
where this is the whole thing, where it's a whole galaxy where we have not been given a space to be vulnerable, generation after generation after generation. And so you look up and like, hey, who can I talk to? And you're like, oh my gosh, it's a black hole, because very few um, of our parents, um,
mhm,
our parents,
mhm.
they couldn't be vulnerable because the thing was, and you and I, we haven't lived together. No, we don't even live in the same city, right? But I don't know if you know this term. Children should be seen and
I heard. Yeah.
see. You see what I'm saying? Then
Yeah.
and see that you finished that, and you and I didn't even tell you that you and I, we didn't grow up in the same neighborhood, the same city. Um, so, but that terms is universal throughout the black community, right? And so that is a problem,
Mhm.
because you've been punished, I've been punished, and so my quest now is to wake men up, to help them to see, listen, you can be vulnerable, and you have to also be able to provide a safe space for your partner.
Well, I want to
So
ask you this though, because where I know we definitely want to expose guys to vulnerability. What's some of your healing methods of helping them to move into that? So, do you have
okay.
like, sessions, or what do you do as far as starting to heal from into that state?
Well, first of all, I have to help them to understand that you have unresolved trauma,
Mm,
and in order for it, and there's no way around it. You can't just like put, tuck trauma under the rug. You can't just say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna deal with that. I'm gonna work on this or whatever. No, you have unresolved trauma. And unless you deal with that unresolved trauma, you're not going to have the ability to be able to hold it together consistently, right? Let's say, folks, I can hold it together today, right?
mm.
I might can hold it together tomorrow, right? But you can't do 7 times in a row where you hold it together, right?
Yeah.
You like, no,
What's going to
no.
expose itself sooner or later?
It's gonna expose itself sooner or later, right? And they keep pushing that button or keep saying something. Yeah, chances are you gonna go off.
Yeah.
Um, and until you
Yeah.
go and talk to somebody, right, about that unresolved trauma. It's gonna be you're gonna have challenges in most of your relationships. Um, all
Yeah.
like say most of them, like say they can't even talk to you at work without you going off. right?
Yeah.
You get, walking in the store, you getting upset about something, right?
Mhm.
You may, and again, you sit in the car, you smoking, you doing whatever, to numb the pain that you're dealing with.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Well, we're gonna talk more about that piece in a little bit, man. I didn't want me to come on to create a podcast on this session, but
No,
I want to.
no, but this is good. This is good because oftentimes people don't understand,
Point.
right?
Yeah, you on point because it's definitely needed to be spoken of what you're doing and how we're healing those individuals. And so we're gonna just let everyone know that hey, join us tonight because this conversation will continue. We're gonna definitely
Right.
dig into this space, and I don't know what you got for me to say, but I'm gonna be vulnerable.
Right, right, and so the things that we're going to talk about three things, um, in three things on the podcast tonight. We're going to talk about binging, soft launching, and breadcrumbing. Right?
True.
You do you know what those three things are?
I do, but I'll think it
When,
in a different
when it
perspective.
comes to online dating, right? Online dating and stuff, you're gonna do a soft launch, right? And benching, bench somebody, breadcrumbing. And
Oh,
so things that you can kind of help them to understand that we gotta commit, right? We gotta do some
yeah,
things, right? And
that's
so
good.
and this
And
this re- this requires vulnerability. So why are you doing this? What are you
yeah,
afraid of, right?
there you
So,
go.
but those are good questions, man. And
Yeah.
like I said, anyone, hold on, one other thing. If anyone is interested in being a guest on the podcast, you can go to champfranklin.speaks.com and you can actually click on the calendar and schedule a date for you to come on and be a guest. And we'll talk about whatever it is that you have questions about, or something that you feel like you're an expert on, you want to talk about. You can definitely do that. We welcome that safe space to be able to talk about whatever it is whatever challenge that you're having in your relationship or a relationship or something that you want to work on in 2025. They say keep it live in 2025. You know how to get them sayings in the church, right?
Oh, yes, sir. But man,
what the know in 24.
uh,
Stay in the know in 2024, right? Keeping it
yeah,
live in 2025, right?
that is, that is.
Right.
We
Yeah.
definitely gonna make sure we pushing and supporting the pod, and I definitely know there definitely some ways to heal. And with that, man, I wanted to give you an opportunity to because we want to talk also about the platform that we have and how we connected also because we have a piece called Men on the Rise. And I love the fact through our conversation, you had a chance to be on the Monday's call we had this previous past Monday. And we had some great conversation. Men just was, like I say, vulnerable transparency. That's big too, because we want men to be able to feel that you're not alone. We all
Hmm.
have like things looking good too over here, four things over here. You know what I'm saying? Life is gonna be life. It's not gonna ever be fair, but we can definitely push past what we're dealing with and dealing through. And so I wanted to give you an opportunity to Q&A me or let's just talk about
Yeah.
some
So
space.
yeah. So with Men on the Rise, I know we had a dynamic speaker on Monday, and we talked about relationships, talked about vulnerability, talked about growing as a man. Um, how do you how does someone get to be a part of this group? Is there like a vetting process, or how do you get on this group?
Well, I'm glad you asked. And Men of Rise again is where we as men come together and we're to inspire, empower men to be a positive impact on their community. We're still working through some red tape to kind of get that XYZ down polished right, but primarily that's what we do. We create a community of men who are really being like the special ops. Guys who really take it to heart to be an impact in a positive way. And so basically how we started this. I've been working through my warm market of people. Now we're moving to wanting it to be more social media and put it out there to men to
Mm-hmm.
join our Monday's call, and it's open for all men. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
aren't just looking at guys who are in a state of where there's struggles, but men like me and you who have have some things going for ourselves, but at the same time we realize we have more in the numbers of other men who are pushing in that direction. So you bring certain skill sets to the table. I bring certain skill sets to the table. But guess what? We can help one another to reach that much further. So we're inviting, and we're going to be starting so many other ways of how we're going to be sharing the message and inviting other men to come to the table. So we will have things that's going to be here local in my area, which is South Carolina, Rock Hill, which we do. But also we encourage men that, hey, in your market, in your place, find ways of how you can touch as well. So we're going to be talking more about what that looks like on our call, and that's every Monday at 8 p.m. And we're going to be having that call on Google Meet. And then we may evolve over time, but right now that's where we are every Monday. On my phone, I thought I can be able to put it in the chat here, but you might have to give me a little time before I can figure that out. But
Mm-hmm.
I am trying to see if I can post that information. But what we'll do, we'll drop it in the comments later for those who like to be able to join us, and we'll love to have you there. Just come in, be open and respectful to everybody there. We don't want to ever make someone feel like how they view things is the wrong way, and we know everything ourselves. But we're here as all students to learn how to better ourselves. So that's pretty much what we at with Men on the Rise. So I'm trying to play with this while we're talking.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, you say Mondays at 8 o'clock, and it's a Google Meet. Um, is there an Instagram page, or how do someone find Men on the Rise?
All right, I'm glad you asked. We do have well, as of right now, we do have YouTube, Facebook, and on IG on Men on the Rise. Look us up, Men on the Rise, and you should be able to find us there. And if you can't find it there, like I say, you can find myself, Stephen Loney. Please look me up, and you should be able to link into some of the information what we have. But yes, Men on the Rise, you should be able to find us there on IG as well, and Facebook and YouTube. hmm Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good stuff, man. I when we had the conversation on Monday, definitely found value in it, and so
hmm
I encourage men to be a part of that. Like I say, I know that there's for me, there was my podcast is Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, so there's a challenge that I'll have, but if time permits, if I cancel a show to be up there, definitely found value in attending the show. Was able to get in contact with a therapist from on just by participating in the show on Monday. So definitely, I encourage men who are on the rise, men who have believed that they have risen, to come on the platform. Because you can be a mentor, you can be a good resource for individuals who are on the rise, who are trying to get to the level that you are, and if you can help us out, that'll be great.
That's perfectly said, man. I appreciate that. I'm gonna chop that up and put that out there. But that's good. It's
Yeah.
right on, man. Because like I said, we're here just to knowing that we can grow and do things together will impact so many more lives. I'm excited to see what's already been taking place, but it's yet to even do a small of what it's going to do. But as a pleasure to have brothers like yourself to go to work alongside with and being able to support as you move forward into what you're doing. And so, man, like I say, join us this next Monday. I have a special guest. I just spoke to him today. He's going to be coming in and talking. This man who played a major part in even the speaker who was there in my father's life. He's actually going to be on this call. So he's a great guy, man. So I'm so pleased to have great men to be able to share this space with and learn from.
Mm,
Because I don't be the guru, but I know we can learn from each other and so many great things that we can do when we work together. So again,
absolutely.
man, I'm gonna go ahead and get you allow you get ready for this podcast. And man, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to jump on this right here with me and being to share with others just what we got going on. And if you can, y'all
Absolutely.
join it at 8 p.m. on IG and tell them again how they can reach us. Get on the
Intimate
call.
Discoveries. Intimate Discoveries. You can reach us on Instagram at Intimate Discoveries, or on Podbean, or any other podcast platform that you're working on. You can definitely get us out there as well. All right.
Sounds good. No doubt, my brother. Thank you once again, man. Look forward to chopping up with you here shortly, man. But to everyone else, y'all have a phenomenal day and be great.
Absolutely. Thanks.